Hello, I'm Duncan Osborne, and in this video we're going to take a look at the latest 700 size nitro helicopter from Align, the TN70. Now, this will be Align's first nitro since the 700X, and it's certainly one I've been looking forward to, just because I really like to go back to nitro flying whenever I get the opportunity. So what I'll do is just go ahead and open up the box, give you a closer look at what's inside, and at the same time point out some of the new features that Align have put into this. Now before we start, it would probably be good to mention the different versions of this kit that are going to be available. So much like previous Align kits before, you have three different options. The differences between them simply being what extra equipment you get in the box. So what I'll do is actually put up a screenshot with the comparison chart so you can see and have a look at the exact differences between each one. But to give you an idea, the basic kit version, like I have here, is just going to come with a muffler, blades and a governor sensor, whereas the other two are going to come with your electrical equipment as well, so such as your servos and voltage regulator. And also the top combo is going to come with an OS 105 engine and even a micro boost fly-barless unit too. So you have the options there, depending on what you need, to go for the one that suits you best. And one thing to mention here is that Align actually have some new servos that they're using with these kits now, which are the DS830s. And it's these you can expect to get in the kits that contain servos now. And I actually have a separate set here, which I'm going to be putting into this when I build it. So I've got three cyclic servos there, DS830s and DS835 tail servo there. And one thing to note is they now come with these shorter length wires. They're all the same length now on the cyclic and the tail servo. And I also have a DS530 there, just for the throttle. I'm also going to be using the OS 105 engine along with this. So there we go, I'm going to put that one in there. So this will end up pretty much the same as a top combo in the end. Okay, so now we've had a quick look at the different versions, let's go ahead and open the box. And as you can see, we have the standard layout Align like to use here, with the smaller boxes separating the parts out into logical sections. And what I'll do now is just put this large box over to one side. Now I'll just go through each of these smaller boxes one by one, showing you what's inside, and hopefully telling you a little bit more about each part. Okay, so the first thing we can do is look at the box that has the canopy in. Let's go ahead and open that up. And as you can see, I have a manual in here. Always good to look at that when you come to build something new for the first time. As you can see, it has some nice drawings and everything in, showing you how everything goes together. So always a good reference there to have that. I'll put that to one side, ready for when I come to build this later on. Right, here we have the canopy itself. There's actually a few things inside here as well. Line towel there, which I'm always useful. I've actually gone ahead and opened a few of these bags up beforehand, just so it's easier to give you a good view of some of the parts on the video. So here we have the muffler, that's in here. I have some parts in there for mounting it as well. So there we have the Align muffler there. It's, as you can see, it's a nice black colour there, nice matte black colour. It's 105 size, so designed for the OS 105 engine. And one thing I've noticed is this muffler actually comes as standard in all three versions of the kit. So whether you get the basic kit version like this, or all the way up to the top combo one, you get this as standard, which I thought was a really nice feature. Yeah, I really like the fact that it's black as well, because that's the perfect colour for heat dissipation. I actually wish more engines, nitro engines, were black as well now for nitro helis. Unfortunately, it seems to be quite a rare thing nowadays. Put that down there. Okay, so we take a look at the canopy. And as you can see, it has a nice bright colour scheme there. They've actually updated the kind of pattern here, the screen pattern and everything, from the original TP70 ones, which I think looks, it's a really nice improvement now. Got a kind of nice, sleek, modern design to it. You can see there's a Align logo on the top there. It's predominantly yellow, this version. We have the kind of overlap here on the top, which adds strength. And also you get the these quick release canopy mechanism here as standard. So I've had this on the TB70, I've been using it for a little while now, and it is really nice and convenient. So all you do is just press that to latch it onto the canopy support on the frame, and then when you want to take it off, you just press it down again and it comes off. That's really nice. It's also made of this lightweight carbon material. You can see it's black inside, which does save quite a bit of weight on previous designs. So that's another really nice feature to bear in mind with that. Okay, then we have some Align calendars. Getting quite a good collection of those now. Next we have fuel tank. I believe this is the same tank as used on the 700X N. The same capacity, which I think is 630cc fuel tank there. If you look at the layout, where they positioned it in the frames, it's actually really nicely under the main shaft. So as your fuel drains away, your CG isn't going to change that much at all during the flight. And in the bag here, we also have fuel filter, clunk, and some fuel tubing. So we've got everything in there to store your fuel system. Okay, next you have our accessory bag, and that simply has your blade holder in there. Got some blue thread lock there. Got some Velcro straps, for your servo mounting accessories in there, and also a small little receiver aerial holder there as well. Then finally we have frames. These are made of carbon fibre. They're a two-piece design. So I can show you a few of them here. This is one of the top parts here of the frames. This is where basically all your drivetrain is going to be, and your servos. And when they're together, the top part is quite nice and narrow in this section. And you're going to have the servos. They're going to be mounted more or less how they were on the 700XN. So different to the TB70, where the servos, the layout was kind of changed with the servos horizontally and at the top there. Now the servos are back to a more conventional, if you like, position in that. And then the bottom half. There we go. That's where the fuel tank's going to go there. Your engine's going to go in that position there, and they're just going to go together, something like that. Okay, so that's it for that box. We can move on to the next one. Okay, so next we can take a look at the electronic device box. And for me, this is going to be very quick and simple, because what I have in here is my governor sensor there. And if you have any of the other versions of the kit with the servos, this is the box where you can expect to find them, or your electronic equipment, so voltage regulator and servos, things like that, should be in this box here. But for me, because I just have the kit version, I've just got my little governor sensor there. Okay, so now we can move on and look at the main rotor head box here. That's where the majority of the parts are going to be. First we have the swash plate and main shaft. It's a new design main shaft there. The swash plate is actually the same as what we've seen on the TN70. So you've got your black bottom half there, along with the magenta top half. And the main difference between this and the old 700XN swash plate that I can see is it's now only one hole for your ball there on the swash plate, whereas the older swash plate had two holes. So that's your main shaft and swash plate there. Then we have the main gear. I'll take that out, show you. That's made of a durable plastic material. It has the helical gears on both the main drive gear there and the tail drive gear beneath it. And then in the centre you have your auto rotation hub there, the one-way bearing is in the middle there. Okay, next we have the undercarriage. This is just made of the same durable plastic material that we're used to. One thing to note here is the front undercarriage legs are actually shorter than the back, so it means that your boom, when it's on the ground, is going to be kind of up at an angle, keeping the tail away from the ground to avoid any damage there to your tail drive. So that's a nice little design feature to be aware of, aluminum. And then you also have some skid rubbers and just your mounting brackets for the undercarriage in that bag there. Okay, so next we have our tail gearbox, tail hub, tail rotor parts in here. Have a tail fin, also some Align tail blades there, which I believe are 105 again, same as that came with the TN70. And I'll give you a closer look at the tail gearbox here. There we go. As you can see, it's come pre-assembled, but as always with these things, you want to take it apart when you come to build it, make sure everything's in the right position, and then tighten everything up with thread lock wherever you need it on there. As you can see, we have some blue gears here. This is the high strength material line I've been using with the tail drive gears now. So that's a feature on this nitro tail gearbox. There we go. And the other thing you might notice is from this, as nitro, unlike the TN70, it's not a belt drive, it's actually going to be a torque tube drive on the tail there, hence the gears. Okay, so next logical thing to move on to would be the front tail gearbox thing, which you have there. Again, you have your blue high strength gears there for your tail drive. You can see the boom just going to go in there, and your torque tube is going to locate into there. On the top there we have a gyro mounting plate, so the gyro flybox unit is going to be mounted on the back there of the boom. Right, next we can take a look at the rotor head, the main rotor head. I'll get this out and show you. We have some links in the bag as well, come pre-installed there on the rods at the factory and set to the same length. And the rotor head, it's the same rotor head as the TN70, if you're familiar with that. It's in this nice black colour, CNC machined. And the main difference, if you're familiar with the old 700XN head or 700X electric head, this head is actually quite a bit smaller both on the head block and the blade grips. So the overall diameter is smaller, like that. Think about 3 centimeters. So if you're wondering, it's probably the main difference there between the older versions and this version of the rotor head. Okay, so next we have a bag here, complete with bearing blocks. I have a frame sticker in there, our servo mounting brackets, swash plate guide, just general parts like that, all in that bag there. Then next we have our radio tray, which is made of plastic material, and that's just going to sit in between the upper frames at the front. That's where you can mount your electronic equipment, things like your voltage regulator or receiver battery or anything like that can go on that at the front there. Right, finally we have this bag here. It's a good time to get rid of the box and I'll show you each one of these parts individually now. So first of all we have the clutch assembly here, and also have your cooling fan there. That's the cooling fan and the clutch assembly. There's a few things to mention here. Firstly, the clutch liner, it's been pre-installed in there. It's actually a steel alloy liner rather than your standard kind of older material of clutch liner, which is softer that you might be used to. We did see this on the 700XN, this design, and I found that it worked really well. I find it a lot more durable, longer lasting than say a standard clutch liner that I've used before. So I'm glad to see this design has returned. And the other feature here is rather than in older nitros you simply had a gear coming from your engine output shaft here straight onto the main gear, or if you're familiar with the previous 700XN, you had an intermediate gearbox in here between this and the main gear. We now have a pulley system with a belt drive. So the belt's going to go from this pulley here onto another pulley which has a gear on, which is then going to mesh with the main gear over here. So that's another new feature that you're going to see on the TN70 with that. And this is just our engine mounting block there. You can see it's a nice magenta colour. It's got some nice fins on for good heat dissipation. Here is actually the belt that I mentioned before, along with the other pulley. As you can be able to see, you've got the pulley there and the smaller gear below it. That's what's going to mesh onto your main gear there. So just go like that. And the belt's going to go between this pulley and that pulley there. Just like that. Okay, and then finally, the final part in that box is going to be our cooling shroud. That's just going to go over the engine and give us some air cooling there over our cylinder head, like that. Okay, that's it for this box. Ready to move on to the next one. Okay, so finally we can come to our main blade box here. Here you can expect to find the boom, blades, things like that. Anything that was too long to go in any of the other boxes. So I'll take a look in here. First you have your undercarriage skids there. Just go there. And next we have the boom. And the boom is actually with carbon fibre, so it's nice and light as well as being strong and rigid. You can see the Align logo is written in the white text along the side there, on both sides. And once again, this is actually a torque tube drive, so it's been designed to accommodate that. You can see maybe on the boom you actually have the torque tube drive in there, along with your tail servo push rod. They're all inside there as well. And one thing to say, probably at this point, is the TN70 has actually been designed without any boom struts, any boom supports. So that's a new feature there for the TN70 that we didn't have on the 700XN. Okay, finally, in here we have blades. These are not actually the yellow nitro blades that we got before with the 700XN. These are new design, although they actually look similar to a really much older design that I used to fly. The main difference here is they're actually 690 blades rather than 700s, and you're going to get a set of these again, like the muffler, in whichever version of the kit you want to have. I'm not exactly sure on the difference with the weights of these compared to the yellow nitro ones, but it's definitely something I'll look out for when I come to fly it. So I'm definitely looking forward to having a go with these when I'm ready to fly this. Okay, so that's the last of our parts out of the box, and there we have the new Align TN70. Hopefully this video has been useful to you, giving you an idea of some of the new things Align has done with this, giving you a look at the different parts and what you can expect in each of the kit versions. And as I said before at the beginning, I'm always happy for an opportunity to try out a new nitro model, so I'm really looking forward to putting this together and doing some flights with it. If you think I've forgotten something or have any questions, then feel free to leave a comment, and thanks for watching.